Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So now we are on the next part of the Spectating series. I can't believe how popular this series has become. We're going to be playing Watson today. Now, what's interesting about this episode for today, let me just make sure we don't get interrupted in the comms here, is that we're going to be doing a comparison of a Platinum lobby versus a Diamond lobby. So in this account, I'm Platinum. Right afterwards, I usually don't do a jump cut, but for this episode, I'm going to have to do a jump cut from one lobby to the other because I have to log in and out. I'm going to go play a Diamond lobby right after. I figured this would be a lot more interesting because we are in the middle of the season, meaning that a lot of Platinum players have definitely moved up to Diamond, and there may be some Diamond players who are constantly dropping out of Diamond into Platinum that are stuck in limbo. So I think it's important that we provide as many tips and advice as possible for those that are kind of stuck in between. Now, this could be a very humbling experience because you may find that some of these lobbies actually will be maybe a lot easier or sometimes a lot more difficult than you expect. So we're going to provide tips about that. Now, as you know with the series, we're going to recap and everything's in the description. The goal is to stick with our teammates. They're going to choose the drop location. Now, if they get eliminated, we are going to watch to the very end of the lobby. And that's very important because we're going to be able to highlight a lot of tips in comparison to Platinum versus Diamond. And remember, ranked this split and also even the past season has been a lot more difficult than recent. We've been seeing a lot of master players maybe stuck in gold or even platinum when they were masters before. So the number has definitely dropped, but we're seeing a lot of individuals get in. So what's interesting about a platinum lobby, it kind of depends on the time of day. But sometimes you'll notice a lot of individuals will either drop safe or they'll all drop in one conglomerate everywhere. In this lobby, we're noticing a bit of a spread. Now, what's interesting, and we'll see if this actually happens in the Diamond lobby, is some may actually land on top of each other and go a little bit more for the ego play. I'm not going to try to loot all of this person's loot, so I'm going to drop underneath. I am actually using a new mouse for today's video. I actually covered it in a video that I just posted. I guess when this goes up, it'll be yesterday. So if you're interested, I'm using the G502, so if my gameplay looks a little wonky, you kind of know why. Now, you want to be as efficient and quick as possible with your loot, know exactly what you're going to grab. So I'm playing Watson, so I could possibly run a Volt. I would like to find at least a sniper, which is why I'm getting the attachments here. I'm actually going to go blow up the hold. I'm going to go and drop the... No, Octane took my grenade. I was definitely going to use that. That's okay, I'll find another. There we go, another one. Alright, so I'm going to find my guns out of the hold here. Cage isn't actually a bad spot to drop, believe it or not. Most teams don't really contest this, but the loot isn't half bad because of the hold. Looks like we're both opening the hold. So let's take a look. We got a 30-30, which is something to actually use there. Guess we can grab ourselves a Prowler. And then we are pretty much good to go. Now, I know it's not ideal to run... Oh, actually, we'll go with that. Perfect. We're all set. No complaints here. If I can't win with a gunfight with what I got, then I probably shouldn't really be playing this game, to be honest. And there's a flatline, even better. This is my ideal loadout. I can play range. I got myself an Excel. I got at least a decent amount of heals with a battery. Now, we'll just follow. Let's see who's a little bit more confident. It looks like they're on the same squad, so they're probably in Discord together. That's the goal. If you notice that you're the odd man out, try to play... I usually will play with the more scan legend. In this scenario, the Octane at least has an out. The Octane will probably leave me. So most people say, well, how do I choose which one to follow? Follow the one that needs your help. So Bloodhound is going to need more of the support than an Octane will because the Octane can just stim and run away. Let's say this was a Wraith and a Newcastle. I'll stick with the Newcastle because the Newcastle has more of an out. So you'll notice that the lobby is actually getting eliminated very slowly, which is interesting, which means that this is about to become an absolute nightmare to fight. Remember that the zone closes a lot faster than prior seasons, and that's really, really important to highlight. You're going to notice that as we watch the rest of the lobby, you'll notice that there'll be like clusters of fights. And then the lobby will die out, but then the opposite end of the map, there'll be pretty much nobody there. So keep that in mind when you're rotating. If you notice that one side of the map is really heavy, rush to the other side of the map so you can get better positioning. Unless you're going for KP. If you're looking for KP, that's not a problem. Like right now, we're kind of starved for KP. I mean, there's only been 2 fights, so nothing to necessarily worry about per se, but it's still very, very important to really highlight. So, you know, stick with your teammates, stay close by, don't go too far. Remember the zone closures. Think of your gates. What would be the worst possible scenario to get in? If we were sitting right out here, we could get gated here and here, but by being at least by a choke point, we increase our probability at least to get out. Now, if we get pinched and there's multiple people fighting up here and we hear a fight on the south side, it might call for a rotation. That means that we actually need to rotate. So if we're thinking of where the lobby is, all these guys, if they haven't been fighting, are all going to cluster here. and they're going to cluster potentially here on the south side. So those are guesses. It's always good to try to make an educated guess on where the teams are going to play. So I said I should be playing with the Bloodhound. I got a little distracted. That's okay. Our Octane's about to catch up, and we can provide some cover. It looks like they're backing up. So Bloodhound is going to be, you'll notice a lot of legends that are really popular are going to be Horizon, Seer. All of those are very, very popular among ranked. The reason why is that getting scans, especially from a Bloodhound or even a Seer, is so vital to know if you're going to get into a fight or if there's a potential third party. Horizon right now is probably the best offensive legend in terms of finding an angle and getting a jump on an opponent. So really, really strong. Now, another tip, don't just throw your utility. Let's say there was a team right around here and they're jump padding right into them. You could get eliminated. So careful as you start to rise up in MMR not to use your utility. I give that tip a lot. It's such a basic one, but believe it or not, pros and high-tier players all make that mistake. So we're kind of following in. Luckily, they see where they're at. They got one in the building, so it might be best if we hunker down and take the one out in the building. Flush, so that's pretty good. Now, we're going to rush in. We've got to watch out for the teammates that are located nearby. So I'm going to do is fence up at least the first floor. And then we'll chill here, because I don't think the guy probably already left. So we'll just provide some cover fire, looking nearby, see where they're at. Take ultimate height. If I can actually take ultimate height. There we go. So we're up on roof. I'll put a gen for to play aggressively here, and then we'll start taking shots. And not land anything, which is perfectly fine, unfortunately. Now, if you don't land anything, just keep trying to put the pressure on. Thought I could shoot through that. I couldn't. At least you're putting pressure. That's the goal. I actually am shocked I didn't land any shots there. So as long as we're just holding. Right now we're in a holding pattern, and everyone should start to run in. It looks like you hit that, but you unfortunately can't. Let's see who my teammates are looking at. There's a vantage all the way in that angle too. There we go, finally landing some shots, actually doing something. Sometimes you just unfortunately won't land all the shots in the world, but it's good to occupy space, to be out in the open. I can't believe you can't shoot through that. Somebody will comment down below that you're able to, and then I'm just messing up, so I'll cry later about it. Well, sometimes you miss your shot, sometimes you land it. My biggest advice for people... Oh, they're pushing. All right. I'm going to flank since they're right there. I got to watch out for the other team, though. And then I land the flatline shots. One of my biggest tips and advice is to always... Also, take out the utility whenever you can. Is to always just take your shots. You never know. Sometimes you'll miss them. Sometimes you'll land them. It's perfectly okay. Don't stress. To see how all of a sudden now I'm landing headshots. It starts to work. Another headshot. Boom. You know, all of a sudden, like, you start to turn it around, which is great. Perfect. But sometimes you just miss. And the only way to improve your aim is to take shots. Don't get nervous and rank just because, you know, might be a higher tier level of player. Play your angles. Play safe. Play together. There's one. Tap strafe around. Wait for him to move. I'm going to hold this door, and he gets eliminated. Perfect. He got shot from the other team. So what I can do is I can pop an ult excel here. We do have to rotate. Oh, he's rezzing. I didn't realize that. So I'm going to drop my armor for him. Good thing to do as a teammate, even if you don't want to give up your armor. Drop it for them so you can see it. Okay. Yeah, because we got to fight again. See what I mean? If I didn't drop that armor swap, that's pretty important at a higher level, is that we could have gotten eliminated there, but I can buy my teammates a little bit of time that way. Okay, that's a really, really risky drop, man. Oh, no. That's okay. One clip here. I'm going to see if I can res in a second. I'll put some fences because I saw that there. Nice little head glitch, and then we res. It's a little close. I'm going to hit by this, but luckily it won't eliminate me. But it is a little tight. I know they're outside. I don't think there's any safe swap here, per se. There's that one. Nice. And I can just swap. Important. Prioritize heals. Heals are so important. Which is interesting about this. We're kind of spectating the lobby, and I'm giving a lot of tips at the same time. Giving tips and advice. I know that the biggest thing is that people want to be greedy with their loot, but you have to prioritize covering for your teammates. Right there, honestly, like if I didn't drop that armor for the Bloodhound, no matter how good my aim is, we could have gotten eliminated. We do have to rotate in 1 minute and 3 seconds, which is really, really important to highlight. Because if we don't, we could get... Well, essentially, we're getting sandwiched. And this is what makes it really hard. So the only thing we can do here is go for a jump pad and get out. Guys, can we get a jump pad and get out of here? We're in between 2 different teams. Like, go that way. We're literally in between 2 teams. We got to get out. End zone's closing. All All right, so then that's a good way to call. See, they're already rotating. Another team's also rotating. Everyone's trying to get in. Let's just run past. So that's the goal of what we want to do. We want to just run past. Now, there's two things. You can get greedy and start to fight here, or we can hold. And luckily, look at this. There's another team above. There's another team above. Careful, careful, careful. We got like 4 teams in our area. This is, remember how I mentioned the clusters earlier? This is what you call a cluster. This is going to be really, really difficult to try to find our way out. And we take a shot over here, the team on the right is going to notice us. So the only thing we can do, this is why Valkyrie's so important. Octane at least got us to this jumping point, which is really, really important, but we do need to push a little further ahead. Notice that the team is actually playing very, very patiently. So I didn't get risky and shoot over to the right, and they haven't gotten risky either. But this team is trying to give away our position, which isn't really that positive. So what we can do is take different angles, play together. I was playing with the Bloodhound. I think this other team extended a little forward. That's perfect, and now we move forward. See, honestly, we could have gotten to that thick of that. That team was just like, they're just sprinting at each other. Patience is also very, very important if you want to really win. You want to play patiently, you want to play well, you want to play right, and if you miss shots, it's okay. If you don't, at least know when you're going to land them and know when you're not going to land them, you know? But don't be afraid to waste your ammo. If you die with a lot of ammo, it means that you could have taken more shots or replace that ammo with other utility. Like if I look at my utility, maybe I need more bats. I guess we're going to gate here, so I'm going to start putting some fences, and here they come. They're rushing in. This is a bit ballsy. It was a good stick on that guy's part. I'll play the off angle here, but I'll still fight. Please. They got this. They should have this. We knocked one, so we got the armor advantage. Perfect. And they go for the res. Now, if they're really kind, they'll drop an armor for me just in case. They didn't drop an armor for me. It's okay. See where they're going to go, and then I'll follow with them. But you have to be really quick on those armor swaps at a higher tier level. It's all about reset. Let me see if I can crawl around. Ooh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Maybe go for the res. Oh my god, he's going for it. Very nice. I need to go for an armor swap. It might be a little risky going for the armor swap, but I'll just wait. I'm going to go for a med kit, and then I'll wait. So this is, again, a cluster. In between a lot of teams, the only thing you could do is find an angle and play as patiently as possible. So I'm going to go for the armor swap right here, and I got it, luckily. Now I got to back up, play my little spot here again, and just wait. We do have an uphill battle to play. When we look at zone, we really have to book it in as far as possible. And there's another team behind. That's unfortunate. So we're going to play this right here. And I'm going to take some shots where I can. I can't see anything, but I'll just take some cover fire anyways. I'm going to keep sliding down, look for an angle. They're getting shot from somebody outside of zone? That's really unfortunate. I don't know what they're doing there. So I'm going to put a gen right here just to hold us down for a second. But we're still going to get picked on, which is... literally, the only thing we could do is have if we had another legend like a Valkyrie, if we have a jump pad to move a little forward, just maybe shove the team over there. But right now, we're kind of opting for the decision to hold. So let's see. This person's going to cross out in the open and see if I take some shots. So make sure my back's exposed a little bit too. I know I'm getting a little greedy here, but I also don't. I want to make sure the other team doesn't roll up on us. If I can get a nice headshot, this would be a great opening. Unfortunately, they're doing the same thing. There's a crack at least. One more hit, and then we have this. I'm might get shot in the back, but at least I can try to go for some damage here. There's another crack. Let's try to move up on this. It's a little greedy here, but hopefully my teammates understand what I'm trying to do going on this. Play this tree. Remember, find cover where it doesn't really exist. That's your best play you can make. So luckily, they backed out. So that's pretty solid. Let's get a little bit more resources here, because they're gonna die. They're gonna die to zone. You gotta come back. Zone 4 is gonna hurt. She died. Nice. Come. All right, this zone is gonna truck, and we know there's 2 teams in front of us, so one of them has to run in. This is the cluster I'm talking about. The top 6, pretty solid, 89 points. It's not bad at all. Looking at what we've done so far while we're commentating. The next one, I probably guarantee we're going to get more eliminated. I feel like plat is a lot easier these days, especially to commentate over. The seconds that you have, especially in diamond, get a lot more difficult. So remember, remember, this is where memorizing the map is so important. Based on this, where do you think we can play? We can play here. We can play on top on the right. We might be able to cut the corner over there as well. Just remember where your angles and where you can play. You don't necessarily always want to play in low ground either, so you gotta be really, really safe. So we know there's a team up there. I know there's a team nearby. There's a Lobo ult right there. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take height on them. Oh, unless they take it from me. That's unfortunate. Oh, our teammate. That's not good. Actually, I should have paid more attention there. That's not good. I didn't realize he was so far behind. I did tell him to move. I calmed it. Oh, we cracked a shield. Shoot. We have the low ground. This is so bad. This makes me so nervous. I don't think we're going to win this. They would have to make a glaring mistake. They would have to drop. Get it. Okay, drop. Are you going to get greedy? Going to get greedy? This is all you can do when you're in a 2v3 is wait for... A mistake would be somebody over peeking and then getting cracked or something. That's literally all we can do and kind of pray for right now. Luckily... Oh, I overextended a little bit. Oh, shoot. I kind of threw that. I mean, guess we can blame the Octane, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. That's not a problem. But we'll continue to watch. Okay, remember, spectating series, we get to see how the rest of the lobby plays out. So now, we're in a top 5 situation. Sometimes there's more teams, but remember how much of a cluster there is? Now, if the clusters are more spread out, then you run into the situation where the lobby doesn't necessarily... It feels a lot worse at the end game, if that makes sense. If let's say there's like 7 teams alive right now, right? Then the end game gets a little bit crazy, but sometimes you run into a situation like this where a big choke was a big problem and a lot of teams get eliminated. Or at the very start of the lobby, at the very start of the game, a lot of people get eliminated because everyone's kind of going ooga booga, you know, aping the whole lobby essentially. But that wasn't bad. This team actually just needs to get in. You know, that's the goal. Remember what just happened to us when we lost the Octane. You know, if one person's a little further behind and look, there's a team right in front. Now, let's pretend that team wasn't fighting. What happens if they're gating as you're running in and this zone trucks? It hits really, really hard. I wish I was paying more attention. I'll also take ownership. I should have looked at the Octane and maybe gone back and tried to help. This team got really lucky, and that's part of it too. In rank, sometimes don't rely strictly on luck, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, that's so important. Don't rely on luck. Rely more on skill. Realize that this would be a lucky moment because this team could be doing the opposite and gating them. Say, okay, that was lucky versus we positioned well, we took an angle, this was skill. I think that's really important. I don't think I've ever mentioned that in a video before, and I think that's a really, really important tip to making sure that you understand whether the play was lucky or whether the play was skillfully thought out. Like when we started holding angles earlier, it was played skillfully. Now, when we held and pushed up there, and I realized the Octane was not behind, we could have gotten lucky and kept going. And you can make the argument, how do we get lucky? How do we make sure this team makes a mistake? You don't want to rely on another team making all the glaring mistakes. You want to make sure you have better positioning so they can make a mistake. So what you'll notice in Platinum is a lot of players are really good at playing patient. They don't want to lose RP. There's a lot of RP on the line. Now, it's really hard to breach a Peacekeeper. Now, the problem that's happening here is a mix of focus fire. They're focusing multiple teams. Try to keep your focus on the goal. Which team are you actually trying to get out? Don't just start shooting another random team when you're already pushed up on another team. And this is a good flank, technically. Now, what they could do is also focus on zone. If they're going to push, they have to really, really push. And I applaud them for finding an angle, but essentially what's happening is that they're just getting grief from a distance. So they have to remember those angles. What's playable here is behind this house, behind that box, or just to move in just to have a better effective spot. So another big tip is to make sure to res as quickly as possible. One thing that they could have done by now, the other team hasn't even really been looking at them. They could have punched the Watson in and they could have resed. But it's a little too late. I say if you don't res within the first 5 seconds, you're pretty much risking that you may not even get it off. And you're just relying on pure luck. So what you saw there is literally pure luck. The other team was looking at that angle and just luckily, the Watson didn't get eliminated. Remember, luck versus skill. Going in there and going for the res immediately, that would be more skill, knowing where your strengths and weaknesses are. Now, remember what I was talking about in terms of gating. This team, the other team that's closer into zone has every chance to win. These teams are more likely to lose. They have an uphill battle, unless the teams inside will essentially throw their game. Like, that's people underestimate the zone. That's a great example of underestimating the zone. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is the perfect example. Respect the zone, get to placement, play your angles, and understand that that thing hits like a truck. Now, if your teammates are too far behind, you just can't risk it. That was a great play on their part. It would have been great if they had the Pathfinder. And now it just becomes, well, the fight and shenanigans that you're seeing. Essentially, they're right around the corner, and they should win it. So, like I said, the two teams that were further into zone, as you could tell, were more likely to win. That was naturally what we're going to see. And that's what you should expect. I mean, if this was a professional lobby, or even going up to Master, and we'll see in Diamond, the team that has the power position is going to win. So you want to always know and predict where the zone is going. Now, Let's do this again. Now we're going to segue into a diamond lobby, and we'll see how it changes, and I'll try to compare. Because right now we have platinum in our mind. Keep that in mind as we go into the diamond lobby. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Now we're going to see the comparison of a diamond lobby. Like I said, a lot of plat players tend to play a lot more respectfully, which is very interesting. You would think that you would see that more in the diamond lobby. Let's see if I'm proven wrong. When we hop into the lobby, I feel like there's a lot more aggressive fighting. There's a lot more confidence, because as a diamond player starts to kind of go to the next level, there's a lot more confidence, but you got to remember not to make the mistakes. They will have a lot more positive aim, and I think we're going to see that. Let's see if we get eliminated early. We'll still again follow our teammates and kind of make a play. So let's segue to that. All right, here we go. This is now a diamond lobby. I think the biggest thing, the biggest tip I can provide all of you as you start to see some maybe more ego plays that happen, is to keep your own ego in check. Remember, the end goal is that you would like to win the overall round. So do your best and focus on winning the round, going for zone, and playing more safe. Now, that's really, really difficult to do. You see how we're seeing teams already land more on top of each other? We see enemies there. We see an enemy contesting us, and yet we are still going for this, by the way. We're closer. There's a lot more teams. We'll see. Let's see if this number drops, and maybe my prediction is correct. But I feel like a lot of players, especially within Diamond, as they get a lot more confident, they run into the issue of, let's just go play safe. Let's play a little bit more positive instead of going for a risky play. Right now, we're going for a risky play. Now, I'm going to try not to be the first one to get eliminated here and not embarrass myself in the video. I think the Bloodhound might just be running up. I'm going to wait for like at least another scan or information so we can at least make a play. The Horizon was just here. I don't know how we lost track of her. I'll take high. I'm going to want the Caustic to be by themselves. But you see how fast already another team. Remember before there was 18 squads. This is not how every squad plays out. But it can be pretty close. Fortunately, I missed my shots. It's perfectly fine. My goal is just to kind of scare them, essentially. They got purple, or blue, excuse me. They got blue armor. The Horizon is just running. I think she was separate from her team. So you just got to be very careful. Because right now, like, this is getting greedy. Like, running, we know there's a team in Relic. Ideally, we actually should just go to zone. So this is what happens. And the only thing you can do, so most people will probably ask me, well, Daz, in this scenario, what can you do? Well, play with your team as much as possible until you don't think that it's playable anymore. So I'm going to go for an arc. I'm going to hold some of my shots. I'm going to go for a nade too. Now, honestly, with that crack that they actually have the advantage on us. So 114, that's a good amount of damage, but somebody needs to make a play to move up. We don't really have a super aggro legend. We have a very defensive comp. That's also something to kind of keep in mind. 42 damage. So right now I've done 174. I haven't seen my teammates do a whole lot yet. And I don't have any strong poke, essentially. And now we know there's a team Relic, so we honestly could get third party. Honestly, guys, we're going to get third party from Relic if this lasts any longer. So we probably should back out. Like I did damage. We went for a crack, but there's just not enough that is going to make a play here. There we go. See? The only thing you can incentivize is just kind of tell them and then just kind of make a play. I'm so worried we're going to get third party from Relic. I just don't have personally enough ammo either. Now, if they get greedy, we could try to make a play and keep them at bay. That's kind of funny. It's kind of a play on words there. But we know the other team is located really nearby, and there's no harm in backing out. Especially if you know you have no resources. The poor Caustic, you could tell, doesn't have anything because he hasn't used any shield healing. And there you go. They're fighting another squad. So like I said, it's easy to kind of predict the flow of the lobby. Just don't get greedy. It's so hard not to, though. I'm going to be honest. I'll be playing with friends. I'll do the same thing. I'll just get greedy and just want to push everything because it's fun. You know, I have to remember, like, what is your goal in ranked? Is it to gain RP, or that's horrible to say, or is it to have fun? I mean, you can try to have both, but it's very difficult to do both. Okay, it's gonna be. I just want to be honest with you guys, but try to have fun through doing both, and then having teammates that are willing to have a fun conversation with you and are willing to vibe. So now, honestly, we can go back on this in third, which looks like what they're kind of opting to do. I have some better resources. I don't have any shield healing, but I am Watson and I have my gens, so at least I could try to make a play. Bloodhound looks like they're going for some scans and information. Look at the lobby. I just want to point out, remember before the zone was closing? This is a much faster lobby. So you'll notice, I mean, this isn't even done per se, that the lobby is getting eliminated much faster. Might as well just eliminate them. Put a gen here. I need to go for some of the healing. Cracked, very nice. Alright, I'm gonna start chucking. Hiya! Hiya! Another hiya! Nades are your best friend. Alright, took out their ult. Are they on the roof? I'm waiting for them to heal up and then we'll push. Patience, remember? Okay, now I can sell. My teammates have me. But I got a crack, so they really shouldn't push. I was hoping after I did the crack there that they would push. Very nice. Go back in. My teammates have me. Okay, okay, come in, come in, come in, come in. There you guys are gonna fight. Going up. There we go, and I remember go for the arms. Where's his body? Oh my gosh. Oh shoot, okay. Grab the armor, it's all you. Well, that was supposed to be for the Bloodhound, but okay. Just see, that guy just took his armor. I was giving that to the Bloodhound. We're over here struggling, and my man just took that armor. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. I don't know, guys. Comment down below the things people do, right? The things we do for love. Sound like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Comment if you've ever seen that show before. But you see how we rotate it in and out? My aim isn't necessarily worse or better. I am using a different mouse right now, just kind of for the memes, just kind of enjoying myself, having a good time. I mean, we're having a good time, right? You can comment down below, timestamp this if you're having a good time watching this. I know you guys really like the series, but notice like what we did. I call it the duck and weave factor. I've never even met these people before. We're playing with randoms and we're going up in diamond, right? Your teammates don't have to be amazing. They clearly have made mistakes. I mean, the guy grabbed the red for you know, fishing learning sake, right? Alright, well, I have abundance of bad resources here. Bad inventory management. Wish I grabbed more nades. It is what it is. Just acknowledge when you make a mistake. If you make a mistake, own up to your mistake. It's okay to make mistakes. If your ego got in the way, just recognize your ego got in the way. The caustic is definitely pushing... Okay, as I was calling it. It's okay. I should have headshot him. Cracked him. So like, remember how I was literally about to call it, that the caustic was kind of playing out a little bit too much? And I was trying to cover for him, but I kind of feel bad. I feel like I kind of threw some of those shots. I should have actually had that. Use this as cover. I'm doing this strategically. Nice. Go for an armor swap. Okay, I'm going to drop this for him. Oh shoot, that's risky, that's risky. That's so dumb, that's so dumb, that's so dumb. Grab the armor swap on the ground. Armor swap is there, so you don't have to heal. Grab it. Nice, nice, nice. Wow, those guys, I can't believe they were missing so much. See, even in diamond lobbies, you see those people were missing? Like, my gosh, like, even I feel like I'm just going to ego them and loot this right in front of me. I'm going to pay for it. Watch, honestly, I'm going to get punished. But you see, look at that. I was able to loot all that in front of them. I mean, people make mistakes, man. It happens. It's okay. Whether it's because they were missing shots. I mean, I'm missing shots too right now. How's that not even hitting? It says there was a guy closer. Oh, wow, there is. Yeah, I'm running. Just bat to be safe. I don't really like burning through batteries, but... And I don't like playing low ground, and I'm going to be caught out in the open here. I see him, oh gosh.
I am trained using a Phoenix kit. Recharging my shield.
We got to get to zone anyways. Remember my tip, zone closure. Right now there's still 10 squads, by the way. This is the interesting part that I find in diamond lobbies is that people ego very early on and then they start playing safe because they realize, oh shoot, I need to start playing safe. In platinum lobbies, you'll notice that a lot of people across the board usually play relatively safe. There's no way they're going to let us across that zip. Well, maybe they will actually. Maybe they'll miss. Let's see. This is a risky play, but it's okay. I think that guy was isolated.
Extended heavy mag.
Yeah, he is. Honestly, we should have just aped the Wraith. Probably would have been a smarter play. But we just got to go to zone. So, that could have been called out on me. I could have called that out. Where'd your other mag go? I'm crying.
Use the map as your guide.
And just try to make best plays that you possibly can. I should have calmed to that the Wraith was isolated. I kind of thought they were, because the two were up top. That Wraith was definitely playing overextended. I should have just called that. If you notice something like that, call 1-800. That person's playing way too far out. Well, that joke didn't land. That was horrible. I'm going to leave that in. Just as a reminder, just to not overextend. But the team should be behind us, and we should be able to gate them. All right, now we're split. I have to choose between mommy and daddy now. This is what you call therapy problems. When you have to choose between Caustic and the Bloodhound. They both are stationary legends. I'm choosing to be with... I don't even know. Alright, well. Just playing with the Bloodhound since the Caustic should be able to stop a team much more effectively than us. But the building here is a smarter play. That is much smarter. So seeing how the lobby is playing out, we're noticing the common trend. I can't believe I had that in my inventory.
Extended light mag here. Level 3.
Shut up.
Blessings upon us. Unapplicator's descent.
You'll notice, and let's get back to my last point, you'll notice that the lobby has slowed down dramatically. Now, sometimes in a diamond lobby, the lobby will slow down when there's like 7 teams remaining. There's 8 right now. So this is actually playing out pretty much how most diamond lobbies. You want to get top 5. Top 5 is always the goal. And right now we have fantastic KP, which is interesting. So I want to give you guys a little info behind the scenes. So I have about 3 accounts currently at Diamond. I was planning to make a lot more in the Spectating series. And I wanted to do the comparison of Plat versus Diamond. And I was going to try to I thought that I would plummet more by solo queuing. But honestly, I actually probably could solo queue to Masters. Seeing how this plays out. I could literally do this. I think I could. I think the issue that I run into is just time constraints. Timing is of the essence. But as you can tell, the same strat, as long as you're playing angles, playing it safe, that's really key. So it can be very humbling knowing, hey, it's doable. If you can play the way you saw we're playing in Plat and Diamond, I promise you, there really is not much of a difference. It's more psychological, and you run into, and you start to get a lot more nervous in terms of losing more points. Don't let your ego get in the way. Don't panic. Stay calm. That's always the key. I'm trying to open the door so I can fence this. Leave the doors open if you can until we actually need to close them. That way the fences can actually do their work and we won't blow out the doors. Little tip for Watson. I like to personally leave the doors open. I'm whiffing so much today. No. Hopefully the other team gets involved. I'm just going to hold for a second then. Play to our strengths of hunkering down. I want to move out, but the other team is really nearby. Waiting for these two teams to fight, essentially. Whoa, hello. Alright, Spat. Hopefully they don't know I'm right here. Literally, they're right outside the building, and I'm just trying to play. I'm not trying to necessarily play it like I'm scared. I just know the minute I run out, I'm going to throw. I literally will throw this game if I make the mistake. I want top 5. That's the ideal. I'm surprised they didn't really commit. Let's go look. Why didn't they fight? Oh, of course. Remember how I said, the minute you pop out, it just feels like you're throwing? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to arc this spot right here. Oh, okay. Try to open the door. I'm dead. I don't know why the other teams just aren't fighting each other. They're literally right on top of each other. And that's always a common question that you always ask. Why aren't these two teams fighting? That's always a common theme. We probably should have just gone further into zone. This is the one thing that is great about Caustic. Let me block the door, I'm sorry. I really love about Caustic is that the strength of being able to hunker down, but it really plays opposite of my playstyle of wanting to play more outside. I'm just trying to block the door. I think the other team left. That's probably what happened. But when in doubt, I think our mistake here is just go further into zone. Once we realized there was 2 teams here, which is what we're seeing. Is he getting shot in the back? I'm gonna crawl over. There's so many Syracuse. What is happening? All right, let's just watch. I really don't know. I'm gonna be honest. What happened here? Because I could have sworn that they just got shot. And they're kind of doing... Oh, wait. Yeah, oh my gosh. That's interesting. They were really right on top of each other. And now they're stuck. And by the way, these two... All of us have just lost the game. That's the crazy part. They lost. They got caught in the same situation we did. And then this team, because of zone closure, is also going to lose. That's the crazy part, man. Because they're going to get gated. You see the choke that we see right up here on this spot? They're going to get gated. What we should have done is kind of predict where the zone is going. We had Bloodhound, and again, what could I, like, if I VOD reviewed and looked this back, it would have been like, man, we knew where the zone was going. Why didn't we just kind of book it right over there? Like, we could held Labs here and kind of held this choke. I'm going to be shocked if they don't get held out. I don't think they're going to get held out. Well, we know there's 2 teams fighting. They're team number 3. No, they're here. They're just not anchored on top of the building. Oh, there we go. Honestly, anchored on top of the building, I know they're trying to go for the surprise kind of peek there. This doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Okay, one of them's pushing by themselves. It is the end of the world. Oh, man, but that was actually kind of a smart push. Oh, no. They could actually clutch this. They still have this, maybe. Oh, it's so close. That was actually a really good beam by their part. If they didn't get Kraber, it's unfortunate that they had a Kraber. They could have made it in. But wouldn't it have been nicer to be at the zone much sooner? Right? That's one of the biggest issues. And then playing together. Sometimes you want to all wide swing the door, but the downside that you see of all wide swinging all at the same time is that everyone just pretty much takes a huge brunt of damage. So you also want to take different angles. You don't also want to take up height all by yourself, like you saw the Horizon. The Horizon could have taken even more damage and then got eliminated. So another little bit of information and also tip and advice there for all of you. So when we look at the flow of this lobby, remember how we were looking at Plat earlier? And there was a lot more people alive for this lobby? This tends to happen in Diamond. Everyone knows how to play in a fight, and so everyone's really, really confident in Diamond, and you'll see a lot of pushes. You're like, I can't believe they're doing this. Or they'll stay a little bit too committed on the fight. It's like we were seeing just outside earlier. It's like, why are they still here? So you want to make sure you're practicing the mix of both rotational knowledge as well as not can we fight this and win, is it smart for us to fight this? And that's one of the hard parts that I even have. And I think that my best advice to give to all of you is to slow it down. Remember, the more that I give this advice, the more that everyone is going to start playing inside of the zone. And maybe this video gets a couple views. Maybe this gets a lot of views, right? I mean, I'm just a small guy in the grand scheme of YouTube. But remember, if this video series, the more popular that it gets, then, I mean, it is going to impact the flow. If, let's say, a couple, let's say the video, like I've seen one of them get like 100,000 views. If we impact and change the viewpoint of 100,000 people, that would be amazing. And I think a lot of individual players will start to have a lot more. I've been seeing it too in Platinum, where a lot of players play really, really intelligently. But also, I'm going to use a factor, is that I think a lot of Master players are also in Platinum right now. So that's not just always the case. There's a lot of different variables to a lot of this. It could be a lot of different things. There's a lot of outside influences, maybe watching pro players and how they play. Everything is a factor. And to be honest, I'm just a small factor in this little world of YouTube, but I'm here to try to give as many points, tips, and what I see from my perspective of professional shoutcasting, as well as my time playing Apex. So right now, this is honestly anybody's game. So there's a team, by the way, on the south side. There's a team at the choke, and there's a team on the other side. The team at the choke probably has the hardest rotation if these two teams decide to take it really, really slow. Now, I think they're going to, which means that the team in the center is going to get sandwiched, as long as this team does not get greedy, because they're going to get shot from the right side. So essentially, they have to walk it in. Know that the zone isn't as fast as you think, and that you do have time to kind of just creep in with the zone and use cover to cover, meaning like the tree right there, maybe the care package on the left, anything to buy yourself some time. So when you're playing end zone, the rock is a really good rotational tool there as they're pinging it. But the goal, especially right before the zone closes, do not, I repeat, do not get cracked. I cannot tell you how many times people will throw their games because they got hit by a Kraber, they got hit by a sniper, they overpeaked, and now they're trying to bat or they're trying to pop a med kit right as the zone is about to touch them. And this is the most important moment to do as much damage as possible. So remember how I said the team in the middle has the biggest uphill battle because they're going to be good focus from both teams. I did highlight that the teams should be smart enough to make sure they hold opposite angles here. Now, this team needs to focus strictly on the middle team to get them out rather than the team across the way. Now, the downside of what this Pathfinder's doing is getting a little greedy by himself because he could get one magged or vice versa. Oh, don't go down. Don't go down for the Peacekeeper. You got this. You got this. Don't go down. Okay, nice. If that person landed 2 Peacekeeper shots and they were by themselves as a duo, that would have been scary. I think it's better to play with your squad and hopefully they were calming. I was winning my fight, blah, 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 blah. That's also very important. But right now, they have the winning position. There's a knock on the other side. This team is going to win, and if somehow they lose, I'm going to be absolutely amazed that they lost. But they have every scenario to win because they have the angles, they have the positioning. Very nice. Oh no! Wow. I think all they should have done is focus fire. The zone was approaching on them. One thing that this team did really well, I want to highlight, is that they played those knockdown shields very intelligently. So kudos to this team for playing that so well. That's so unfortunate. They had the higher ground. I think what happened is that their damage got a little split. So if you notice that the Pathfinder was focused on one on the far left, so that was a 3v2 on the right, or I think a 3v1. I can't remember if one of them was knocked or not. But it was really important to kind of notice that there was a huge opportunity for them to kind of go on that, clear that out, and then use that angle so then they get the other person out. Or get the other guy on the far left and isolate. Isolating opponents is so easy because you're stronger in numbers. And remember how I mentioned the Pathfinder was fighting the other person by themselves? What happens if they got knocked? They would have lost an encounter much faster. So kind of important. We still went up RP, not a downside. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this series has been educational. Let me know if you wanted to see another version of this where we compare both Diamond and Platinum. I thought this was a little bit more interesting so you can see the flow of the lobby rather than just seeing the flow of just one lobby. But also we're kind of mid-season. I don't like to spam this video content because I like to see how the meta changes. You'll notice that we didn't see a lot of Valkyries. I think we're seeing a more diverse pool. But especially in Diamond rank though, you'll see a lot more Horizons. I think out of everything you saw a lot of Horizons that we're fighting. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next Spectating series.